and welcome to Reiki Women Podcasts. And today, I'm Bronwen Logan, and today I have with me the lovely Natasja King. Hi, Natasja.
Hi, Bronwen. Hi, listeners.
Now, Natasja is in South Africa, and she is South African, although she has only recently just gone back there from the UK. So she is a practitioner and a teacher, and there's something that she wanted to talk to us about today in line with our questions, and that was the precept, do not worry. So I think this is an excellent, amazing precept for all women in the world to have a think about. So it's over to you, Natasja.
Thank you very much, Bronwen. You know what? I think women tend to worry more than men probably do. And I think that's part of because we usually fall into caretaker roles. We're the mothers that takes care of the children. Not always, but if I generalize, the kind of roles and jobs we do, say nursing, mostly females, teaching, mostly females. I was a legal secretary for 25 years. I actually had to do the maths just before this meeting to figure out how long it had been. And we take care of our bosses. And I think part of being good at your job or being good as a caretaker means you need to kind of worry a little bit. You need to plan ahead what might go wrong, which is a form of worry. So it's difficult, I think, for us to understand when does it become a problem? And when do I need to do this to be good at what I do? And I think with the precepts, that really helped me because like I say, legal secretary, I'm trained to think about worst case scenarios and think of always having a plan B in case something goes wrong. And to create the plan B, you need to know what might go wrong with plan A. And the precepts have really, really helped me. I've been into Reiki. I started Reiki 1 only in April last year, but it's been a really short, intense journey for me. But even in that short time, it's helped me so much. It's like I realized that I can only do as much as I can. We can all just do what we can up to a point and then no more. And then it's up to the person that you're providing this care to, who you are taking care of, or who you're talking to, who you're engaging with, for them to understand what your intent was. And you can't even change that, even if you wanted to. You can't change how they perceive you, no matter how much planning you do, how much worry you did. So you might as well not worry, but you can plan a little bit, but don't worry. And I honestly learned this quite recently when we moved from the UK to South Africa. If you can imagine, I've been there for 17 years. So that's 17 years of life that I had to pack up. But we still don't know how long we're going to be here. So what do you pack? What do you leave behind? What do you end? What do you start? Who do you notify? Who do you just keep quiet about? And I know my previous self would have been a real big warrior about this, not warrior with an A, the warrior with an O, and just reminding myself, do not worry. There's only so much you can do. And then the 5th precept, be kind to yourself and to others. So if I do worry, just be kind. If someone else takes what I did, seen it the wrong way, and it causes me worry, be kind to them as well. Just don't worry. I can actually tell you a quick story about an example of how with Reiki and repeating the precepts, I kind of unlearned a bad habit of worrying. It was in September, and I started Reiki in April. In September, my husband and I went to see a movie. We went to see Free Guy, like with Ryan Reynolds, Free Guy. And it was mind-blowing. It was one of those movies where you sit and you think, oh my goodness, the universe has given this Ryan Reynolds movie to me to show me what we're thinking of is the right thing to do. And so it's like confirmation. So we walked out of the movie, hung out, like, yay, we're going to do this. We're going to go back to South Africa. And of course, then it kicks in. What do I need to do physically? Things that you could possibly go wrong. You start with a little bit of worrying, but I toned it down. Remember, do not worry, be in the moment. We're getting on a bus now. We're walking in the high street, kind of get into the moment. I can sort of plan. I mean, it's not rocket science. You know what you need to do. You buy the airplane ticket, you give your notice. There's basics, and the basics are good enough for now. I don't need to go into the detail. And one of them was obviously shipping our stuff over to South Africa or getting rid of, just moving our things. Yeah. And we were sitting on a bus, on the red London bus, top level. And I was looking out the window and saying to myself, be calm, this is okay, be in the moment. And on the lane next to us, there's this white van. And I can see on the side of the van, it's painted international shipping. So they do international shipping. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, thank you, thank you. Take a photo of the vans, I've got the number. And as our lane with the bus slows down and the van moves forward, and I see in the back, on the back, there's two flags, South African and UK flags. They specialize, right? They specialize in shipping between South Africa and the UK. And I'm thinking, this is why you do not worry. This is why you just put your intent out there and you be in the moment, you be in the now, you're aware, but your intent and your awareness come together and you didn't even worry. So we didn't need to look for 5, 6 different quotes for moving. We knew these are the people we're going to use. And when that kind of thing happens, you just think, okay, no, these, Mikhail Usui was onto something when he created those precepts. They really do, they tie in together and they work. And the awareness and intent, I think those two things are key.
Yeah. Oh, I love all that, and I love what you have to say. Like it does, the precepts do all link together. They all work together and they bring us into the moment, and they bring us, as you say, like bring your awareness to now, your consciousness to this moment. And we generally are not conscious in the moment. And so all the stuff that's around us that could be supportive and helpful, it passes us by.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I too, like there's lots of things in my life where I've found there have been moments where I've been wonderfully in that flow, and I'm sure a lot of people can know that experience where you're really in the flow of things, and the most amazing things happen, and it feels like magic, but it's not magic, it's just life.
Saying all of that, when it comes to worry, I'm still, to be honest, struggling with do not worry about what other people might think. Because I think that one is, there's a do not worry about what I do, the doing stuff, your job, the getting someone to pick up the kids from school. What if the person doesn't arrive? That kind of worry. It's like, I wouldn't say real world worries, but the worries that go on in my head about made up things. And what do people think of me? But it's a day-to-day thing. And even then you can still control a little bit. If I want people to see me as X, well then do your research and talk about X. Or if you want people to see visibly look at you to make a kind of a quick assumption of how competent or not competent or creative or carefree or whatever the message is, there are things you can control with how you dress, your hair, your whatever. But once people see you, no matter what you've done, it's up to them how they perceive you. And you should not worry what that is. Like a single woman walking into a big boardroom full of men, there's a worry, what are they thinking about me? And there's things like imposter syndrome that comes up into play as well. But then again, I think it comes back to the intent and the awareness. It's like, I'm here now, I'm in this room, so I can't be that bad. I'm amongst these men. I don't care what they think. I'm just going to be wonderfully me. And then you go back to the last one. Be kind. Be kind to them. If they do misjudge them, be kind to myself. If I do kind of worry a little bit, and then, well, I'm aware that I'm worrying, so now I stop worrying. Women, we've got a complex life. There's lots of stuff going on for us.
It is. And, I think one of the answers to that particular one, and of course I understand it, like all women understand that, and it's interesting you coming to it from a corporate perspective as well, because we have talked a little bit in the Reiki Women podcast about leadership, so we don't have a lot of role models in those situations, and do we just act like men, but then we complain about the world that men have created, if you like, right? So, what does leadership really mean in that sense? And I think that is a discussion that is definitely an ongoing one, and something that we all need to think about. But what I was going to say is that the other precept, be true to your way, or do your work honestly. Okay, so being true to your way is in many ways the answer to worrying about what someone might think. Because the more that we are ourselves, the more that I'm me, whoever that is, and less of the pretend me, less of the story that I want people to see me. That if I'm more me, people feel that, and they know that. And there is this, it's that opening up of myself and allowing myself to be vulnerable, which obviously, as you say, like in a corporate situation, you're trying to be a specific this, that, or the other. But the thing is that you can't make everybody like you or see you how you want them to see you. So if we step back from that, so if we step back from that and really move into those precepts, then we will need to look deeper into ourselves, I think, and find that sort of core self, and that will help us in those situations.
Yes, that is so true. And so like you say, you cannot change how people perceive you. Three people can listen to the same sentence and take something different from it every time, or make a judgment or agree. And there's nothing we can do once those words leave our mouth. And you say, and it's same, but at the same time, the genuineness, that energy, that wave of genuine, the energy behind the words, behind the listening, like maybe literally turning your ear and just doing this to when someone listens to indicate that I'm listening, that will send a message. And you're like, you be true to yourself, because it's a worry to fake it, because you will kind of become tense and try and pretend that you don't want, pretend to be what you are not. At the same token, like you said, in a man's world, how do you be true to yourself to compete with the men, but then on the other hand, stand for yourself? I mean, stand in your truth, and we can bring something different to the table. You might learn some skills. I think there's also something to be said for that. Learn skills to better yourself. Like if a person has a strength and a weaknesses aren't weaknesses. They're just lesser strengths. It's just things you haven't developed yet. So if you go into a boardroom and you have to do a public speaking, or you just have to stand up and defend your point, that is something that can be learned, and that makes you evolve as a human being, right? So there's a balance. I think in all of this, it's the balance, and going into yourself and say, well, what feels right? Do I feel I can't compete? I don't want it to even to compete with these men. I'm just going to be me. Or do you feel, you know what, this is opportunity for growth, and let me learn something from them? Whatever in that time in your life is what needs to happen, your gut will tell you, and then you just go with it.
Yeah, I love that, because, we are all in different stages in our lives, and we can't all be the same as such. I do think that we can always, and that's what you're suggesting, have the precepts there to guide us. And they're a great thing to come back to and to test yourself against. So any difficult decisions that you need to make, situations that you're in, that you can look at the precepts and go, well, am I worrying about that? If I am, then I'm putting my energy into the worry rather than into sorting out the situation, as you were saying before. There was a thing I used to say to my kid, which was accept or change. And
exactly.
And it's instead of being in your head and it all going around and round and round, well, if you can't change the situation, then accept the situation. So I always found that was a helpful one to get us out of the head and looking for ways to work out, how we can best move forward and do things that are going to be supportive and make us happy. Yeah,
that's it. I think that sums it up brilliantly. Yeah, accept or change.
Yeah.
And you decide in the moment with the person that you're with, in the situation that you are, and tomorrow you've got the same choice to make, and you make a different choice maybe. And that's the beauty of the precepts as well. It's like today. Oh, I love that. Let's just don't worry about tomorrow, because today I am not worrying about tomorrow. I mean, today, worrying. You know what I'm saying? It's just for today. And that's such a freeing sentence. This is like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. Oh, Natasja, it's so nice to talk about those things. And I hope, for other people, it's a great thing to have a listen to and a think about. And I really appreciate your words of wisdom and your Reiki women's voice and getting it out there. And so thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk to so many people, and to you. And putting on makeup for the first time in I don't know how long. Having a reason to put on a fancy frock.
There we are. Well, if you want to know what I think, you look lovely. There we go.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm not worried about what you think, though. It's over my head. I don't care.
All right. Well, beautiful. And see you later. Bye.